All right, today I'm doing part one, video part two, and it's only because I accidentally pushed something and I made it stop and it stopped recording mid-speech here. But anyway, Bellina's doing a lot better, but there are days where it's hard for her to eat. And so when she was little, we had won this book on Goodreads, and I think it was my brother Emmanuel. So, tip of the day, if you want some free books and you have the app called Goodreads, you can check out reviews from other books. You can go ahead and post your own review from a book that you liked, your own summary. And you can also go on their giveaways, and sometimes you might win. So, my brother actually, I believe he won this one. I think I won maybe 2 or 3 books on Goodreads, but he won this book called Seriously You Have to Eat by Adam Mansbach, illustrated by Owen Brozman, the children's version of the New York Times best-selling classic. And it helped me to talk to Bellina about why it's important to eat. You know, we need to stay strong, we need to fuel our body, just like we put gas in a car. When we put gas in a car, it'll go, right? It'll work, it'll run smoothly. But if we don't put the gas in the car, just like if we don't put food in our body, we're not going to feel good. We're going to feel low energy, we're going to feel sluggish, we might be in a bad mood. You heard that word hangry. We might be in a bad mood. I'm feeling angry right now. So it's really important for us to eat, and I know it's important for us to eat healthy also, right? Everything in moderation means a little bit of everything is good for our bodies. Too much of one thing can be harmful, but a little bit of everything's okay. And it just depends on what we can eat. And you want to pay attention to food allergies. So if you're allergic to it, obviously be careful. Stay away from the allergic food reactions. But if not, seriously, you have to eat. So let me read this to you. To all the kids, stay hungry. Stay hungry? No way. I want you to eat. The sunrise is golden and lovely. The birds chirp and twitter and tweet. You woke me and asked me for some breakfast. So why in the world won't you eat? She looks grumpy. I know Bellina's had those moments where she's just not hungry. And you want to listen to your body too. I mean, if you're not hungry, we can't force feed ourselves, but it is important to make time to eat and to at least try to have a little something in our stomach so that we're not spending many, many hours without it. And even I, as an adult, have to remind myself that, because sometimes if I'm not hungry, I might not eat at the right hours. It's better to have a schedule. And sometimes if I'm busy, I could spend a lot of time doing something. Let's say I'm working on a report and it took me 4 hours to type. I might not eat anything during those 4 hours because I'll be so preoccupied. That means I'll be so busy doing something else. So it's important to remember to eat. The bunnies are munching on carrots. The lambs nibble grasses and bleat. I know you're too hungry to reason with, but seriously, you have to eat. Your cute little tummy is rumbling, and pancakes are your favorite treat. I'm kind of surprised that you suddenly hate them. That's ridiculous, kid. Just eat. Would you eat all those pancakes? I would share them. If I had that many pancakes, I would share them. The giraffes pluck the tender young leaves up. The mice snack on seeds and on wheat. No, sweetheart, I can't make spaghetti. The meal has been served. Honey, eat. So sometimes, right, we have to be appreciative of what our moms or dads or grandparents and whoever's the person that cooks for us at home, we need to be grateful for what they cook for us. Sometimes it might not be our favorite meal, but you always want to thank God and your family that we have food in our bellies, right? So it's like this little girl, she's saying, I want this for dinner, but maybe her mom didn't make that for dinner. So it's important to be grateful. And I always tell my daughters, it's important to be grateful for what we have. And if we have more of something, we can share with others if we can. And also, and that's something that Evangeline is such a sweetheart. My older daughter, if she has a lot of something, she'll share it. She doesn't have a problem parting with it. And I'm going to give you an example. Her dad bought her a lot of squishmallows and she had a whole bag full. And she said, Mom, I gave like half of them away to my friends at school because I had a lot of them and I shared. But I did keep some for myself. And I said, you know what, Mama, that's really nice. That is so sweet that you would share that way. And I've noticed that she's my sharing kid. I mean, both of them are. I remember we went to eat at a local restaurant and they had a little cotton candy machine. And my younger daughter went to some other children and she wanted to share, do you want some? And the parent was like, no, it's okay. They've had it before. But it was such a big cotton candy ball that they were willing to share with other children. And I think that's something important to teach our children, right? Is to the ability to share with others and the ability to help people who are less fortunate than us if and when we can. Now, I tell them it's not okay for someone to steal from you. Let's say you have two of something and someone takes without asking. That's different. We shouldn't take without asking. We should be able to give willingly if we do have more of something. So it shouldn't be let me take without asking. It should be let me give from my own free will and from my own heart. And so if you have something that you can donate and you say, hey, I'm not really using this anymore, it's okay to donate without getting anything in return, okay? Because when you put out positive into the world, positive will come back to you. If we were both pandas, I'd know what to feed you. But seafood is dicey. We're leery of meat. Half the food at the market is really quite scary. But guess what? You still have to eat. And when you don't want to go to the market, there's always Instacart, right? You're not finished. And no, you can't go to school in pajamas, a hat, and bare feet. Whatever. Put shoes on and bring me your plate. My whole diet's the stuff you won't eat. That's true. Sometimes parents become what I call garbage disposals, and then we end up eating all the leftovers. And after a while, it's like, oh my gosh, I can only eat so much. And so I usually just tell them, if you're not going to finish it, that's fine. We'll put it away. You can heat it up and eat it later. The sloth and the lemur, the chipmunk and cheetah, the slow and the sleek and the fleet. Share one thing, my love. They make less of a mess than you when they sit down to eat. It's okay. When you're a toddler, I think it was Evangeline. When Evangeline was a toddler, she was the artist. There was this funny, let me just share a cute story. This funny little Pinterest, I guess it was a blogger who put up different styles of toddler eating, and one was called the artist, where they just kind of spread everything on the tray. And that was Evangeline. She would just like really like to feel the texture of her food, and there'd be spaghetti everywhere, whatever she was eating. And I was never mad at her because when they're that age, they're so tactile. They want to feel with your hands. Your hands are one of your primary senses. Let me feel this. Let me feel the texture. Let me taste it. Babies put everything in their mouth. Why do they put everything in their mouth? Because they're curious and they're hungry. And so they want to, chew on everything because it's a primary sense, and they're developing their primary senses. And so I noticed that kids can get messy, but it's good to provide that space where they can do it. And then you just clean it up. It's not the end of the world. How was school, hun? Hey, your lunchbox is full. How are you not passed out in the street? How is it you're smart? How the heck are you growing when you basically don't ever eat? A parent's mystery, huh? That is a parent's mystery. But you can have other nutritional supplements that help them grow too. You know who loves dinner? The duck-billed platypus. But I know I'm facing defeat. This conversation is like a terrible song that just plays and plays on repeat. I hope you know it's really special to go to a resta. Hey, back in your seat. You kidding? This whole menu's gross to you, but a roll on the floor. That you'll eat? I love these little high chairs. Belina used to get mad if I would put her in these. Evangeline liked it, but Belina used to get mad. Yum, this looks great. 5 big bites, my darling. Fine, 3. But don't try to cheat. A lot of kids don't get asparagus. Show a little respect for them. Eat. Ah, how many of you have heard your parents say, there's children in other worlds, in third world countries and places that will love the meal that you have in front of you. So please be respectful and don't be wasteful, right? There's a lot of people in the world who would love the meal that you're eating. So always remember to feel blessed when you have a meal in front of you, no matter what it is. Obviously, if you have dietary restrictions, meaning you can't eat certain foods because they make you sick, then we have to be a little picky. But if not, it's good to try different foods. And it's nice to help people in need. So for example, the other day there was a veteran who was holding a sign that said, any help, anything will help. And I was going to In-N-Out. And it was actually maybe a month ago. And so I told him, I'm going to go to the drive-thru right here. Do you want me to pick you up a burger? And he said, somebody just gave me food, but I'll take a gift card for a burger for later. So I said, okay. So I got him a $10 gift card and I gave it to him so he could buy himself a meal. When I worked as a therapist in Los Angeles, there was a big homeless population. And sometimes I'd make little bags for them with snacks or toiletries. And those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. I don't have to talk about it and I don't need to be given something in return. But if we can do something like that, then we do. I don't venture out as much as I used to for my own reasons. But before, just sort of being a road warrior, I'm still a road warrior. What am I talking about? I can drive anywhere. I think it's little things like that that go a long way. And I know in Los Angeles County, the homeless population is getting larger. And so if you are able to buy somebody a meal, or if you're able to give someone a blanket, or if you're able to help somebody, just in any way like that, giving them toiletries, then we try, right? Then we try when we can. Life's not always perfect, and it has its ups and downs. But when our life is being blessed, it's good to bless others. Oh, now you're hungry? Tough luck, kitchen's closed. Have some more milk. For me, a drink that smells like peat. Pancakes? Yeah, right. It's bedtime, child. It's way, way too late not to eat. Fine, 1 pancake and that's it. You're exhausting and I'm super beat. And tomorrow we've got to rise early as roosters to fight more about what to eat. I'm pretty sure that you're malnourished and scurvied. My failure's complete, but on the bright side, maybe this is the night you sincerely just go to sleep. How many of you don't like going to sleep at night because you feel energetic? That happens. Sometimes you have extra energy. So reading a book before bedtime helps, or singing a song, just trying to listen to some white noise, what they call white noise. It could be a lullaby that helps sort of calm our nervous system so that we can relax and have a good night's sleep. Because if we don't have a good night's sleep, we might feel grumpy in the morning, and we don't want to be grouchy pants in the morning, right? I know that can happen to me. If I don't have good quality sleep, I could be grouchy pants, and I know my kids can too. The end. So thank you to Goodreads for selecting my brother Emmanuel as a winner for this a few years ago, and I've kept it. And it's funny that I have definitely built up a library of children's books, and a lot of them have come from my brother Emmanuel, as a matter of fact. And other ones have just been discount bookstores, used book sales, at an old library, just books that have made it our way, but that have been amazing. And so I'm just sharing a little bit of that, especially right now that Evangeline and Belina aren't always with me. It's a way for them to still see me, mommy, and a positive interaction. And I'm so used to reading to them every single day. So it keeps our family tradition of reading and education with them, even if they're just seeing mommy on YouTube, all right, or Facebook. All right, everybody, have a good day. Try to stay hydrated. That means drink enough water. Keep your body fueled. And remember, there's a saying that my grandma would always say in Spanish, donde comen uno, comen todos. And that means where one can eat, many can eat. It just means being able to share a meal with someone is such a blessing, because you might be sharing the meal and breaking bread with them, but you might be creating the most amazing relationship that you never knew you could have with someone. And you might not even ever see that person again. You can break bread with someone and never see them again. But that conversation that you had in that moment was so impactful, meaning meeting that person was a good moment for you in your life. And it's a good memory that you're going to carry with you. And maybe you learned something from them. So remember, break bread with each other. Let's try to spread love and peace, shall we? Have a good day, everybody. I love you, Evangeline and Belina. Bye, little friends.